The restaurant was unusually quiet for a Saturday night, the kind of place where the hum of conversations usually filled the air. Daniel, a single dad in his late 30s, had just slid into a booth with his 9-year-old daughter, Emma. They were sharing a plate of fries, laughing about something silly she'd said, when the sharp sound of a chair scraping across the floor broke the calm. At the far end of the room, a woman was being cornered by two men. Their voices were low but threatening, their bodies closing in on her. Most of the diners looked away, some pretended not to notice, others froze in fear. But not Daniel. He stood up so fast Emma's soda nearly tipped over. "Stay here, sweetheart," he whispered, his voice calm but firm. She nodded, eyes wide, clutching her little backpack as though it were a life vest. Daniel crossed the room with steady steps. "Hey," he said, his voice cutting through the tension like glass breaking. "She doesn't look interested. Why don't you leave her alone?" The men turned, both taller than him, their expressions laced with arrogance. "Mind your business," one of them sneered. "This is my business," Daniel replied. And before anyone could blink, he positioned himself between the woman and her aggressors. One of the men lunged. In a fluid motion, Daniel twisted his arm, sending him stumbling into a table. The other swung wildly, but Daniel ducked, countered with precision, and pinned him against the wall. The restaurant gasped in unison. Nobody had expected the quiet dad with his little girl to move like that. Within seconds, the two men were retreating, muttering threats as they bolted out the door. Silence hung heavy until applause erupted from a corner booth. The woman, shaking but safe, whispered, "Thank you. You saved me." Daniel simply smiled, adjusted his sleeves, and walked back to his daughter. He sat down, picked up a fry, and said, "So, what were you telling me about your science project?" But the whispers around the room grew. "How did he do that? Did you see the way he moved? Who is he?" The restaurant manager came over, still visibly shaken. "Sir, I don't know how to thank you." "That was incredible," Daniel hesitated, then gave a modest shrug. "Old habits." It wasn't until a diner recognized him that the secret slipped out. "Wait a second. You're Captain Daniel Hayes, aren't you? The Special Forces soldier who was decorated for saving that convoy overseas?" All eyes turned to him. His daughter's fork paused midair. Daniel looked down, clearly uncomfortable with the attention. Finally, he nodded once. "I was," he admitted softly, "but these days, I'm just a dad." The room went quiet again, this time not out of fear, but respect. The woman he had rescued had tears in her eyes, not from the attack, but from the realization of who had stepped in for her. And at that moment, everyone understood. Behind the quiet presence of a single father at a booth was a man whose instinct to protect had never left him, whether on a battlefield or in an ordinary restaurant on a Saturday night.